World War I, also known as the Great War, marked a turning point in military history, revolutionizing warfare with new strategies and technologies. Among the key figures who emerged from this period was Hugo Sperrle, a German military officer whose experiences during World War I laid the foundation for his significant role in the development of air power in the 20th century. Although Sperrle gained greater fame during World War II as a high-ranking Luftwaffe officer, his military career began during the First World War, where his experiences shaped his strategic thinking and commitment to aerial warfare. Born on February 7, 1885 in Ludwigsburg, Germany, Hugo Sperrle grew up in a family with deep-rooted military traditions. From a young age, he was immersed in the culture of the German military, which was known for its discipline, tradition, and focus on strategic innovation. His early exposure to this environment fueled his desire to pursue a career in the Army, and in 1903, at the age of 18, he enlisted in the Bavarian Army, following in the footsteps of many in his family. Sperrle's early years in the Army were spent mastering the conventional tactics of ground warfare. He demonstrated strong leadership abilities and quickly rose through the ranks, distinguishing himself as a capable officer. However, his real moment of transformation came with the outbreak of World War I in 1914. Like many officers, Sperrle soon realized that the war would not be fought using traditional methods, but would require new, innovative approaches to warfare. This was a time of great change, and Sperrle was determined to adapt. At the beginning of World War I, Sperrle served as an officer in the infantry, experiencing firsthand the brutal and stagnant nature of trench warfare. The German army, like its Allied counterparts, was grappling with the reality of a war that involved extensive use of machine guns, artillery, and defensive structures, which made quick, decisive victories difficult to achieve. The traditional strategies of the past no longer applied, and it became clear that new technologies, particularly aviation, could hold the key to success in modern warfare. Recognizing the potential of air power, Sperrle made a decisive career move by transferring to the Imperial German Air Service, which was still in its infancy. This decision was a bold one, as military aviation was a relatively new field at the time, and its future was far from certain. Airplanes were initially used primarily for reconnaissance, providing crucial intelligence on enemy positions and movements. However, Sperrle and other forward-thinking officers quickly saw the potential for aircraft to play a much larger role in the war, not only in reconnaissance, but also in direct combat and strategic bombing. Sperrle's transition to the air service would be a defining moment in his military career. It allowed him to engage with the most cutting-edge military technology of the time and to help shape the future of aerial warfare. As an officer in the German Air Service, Sperrle gained invaluable experience in the coordination between air and ground forces, a concept that would later become central to his military strategy in World War II. Throughout World War I, both the Allies and the Central Powers rapidly expanded their air forces, recognizing the critical role that control of the skies could play in achieving victory. The use of aircraft evolved from mere reconnaissance missions to include bombing raids, dogfights, and air superiority missions. Sperrle was heavily involved in the German Air Service's efforts to dominate the airspace over the Western Front, and his experiences during the war would deeply influence his thinking about the future of air power. Sperrle quickly understood that aerial combat required not only superior technology, but also innovative tactics. He became a firm advocate of integrating air operations with ground strategies, realizing that the coordination of these two elements could significantly enhance the effectiveness of military campaigns. The lessons Sperrle learned during this period would become critical to his later development of blitzkrieg tactics, where close air support played a crucial role in the fast-moving mechanized warfare of World War II. In addition to his focus on air support for ground operations, Sperrle was also involved in the early stages of strategic bombing, where aircraft were used to attack enemy infrastructure and industrial targets far behind the front lines. This was a controversial and relatively new concept at the time, but it would later become a cornerstone of air power strategy in both world wars. Sperrle's contributions to the development of strategic bombing laid the groundwork for the widespread use of air power in future conflicts. By the end of World War I, Sperrle had firmly established himself as a leading figure in the German air service, and his experiences during the war would continue to shape his military career. The war's conclusion in 1918, however, brought significant changes to Germany and its military establishment. The Treaty of Versailles imposed strict limitations on Germany's military capabilities, including the complete disbandment of the German Air Force. Despite these setbacks, Sperrle remained committed to the idea of air power. During the interwar period, he continued to study the strategic potential of aviation, keeping a close eye on developments in both military and civilian aviation technology. The rise of air power theorists, such as Giulio Douhet, who argued that future wars would be won in the air, deeply influenced Sperrle's thinking. His belief in the decisive importance of air superiority became a defining characteristic of his leadership style. When Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, one of his first military priorities was to rebuild the German Air Force, now known as the Luftwaffe. Sperrle, with his extensive background in aerial warfare from World War I, quickly rose through the ranks of the new Luftwaffe, becoming one of its most important commanders. His experiences during World War I had given him a unique understanding of the importance of air power, and he was determined to apply these lessons to the new era of warfare. Hugo Sperrle's legacy as a military leader is deeply tied to his experiences during World War I, which shaped his understanding of modern warfare and his commitment to the development of air power. While Sperrle is often remembered for his role in World War II, it was his early experiences in the First World War that laid the foundation for his later success. World War I was a period of rapid technological and strategic change, and Sperrle was at the forefront of these developments. His ability to adapt to the new realities of warfare, particularly the emerging field of aviation, made him a key figure in the evolution of military strategy in the 20th century. The lessons Sperrle learned during World War I, particularly the importance of air superiority and the integration of air and ground forces, would go on to influence military leaders around the world for decades to come. Thank you for watching our video on Hugo Sperrle, a visionary leader whose experiences in World War I laid the groundwork for his contributions to modern warfare. If you found this exploration of his early career and the development of air power interesting, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Heroes Historia for more fascinating stories about the military figures who shaped history. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see next, and join us as we continue to explore the great leaders of World War I and beyond.